Did you know the money in your wallet is just a promise, a claim on value, not value itself? That piece of paper, or those numbers on your banking app, are simply symbols of trust in a system. We rarely stop to question what gives them meaning, or how fragile that meaning can be. But what if that value could be stolen without anyone touching your wallet? Imagine waking up and finding your money buys less, even though no one took a single bill from you. It's a theft so subtle, most people never realize it's happening. This is the reality of inflation. It's not just an economic term, it's a force that quietly changes the rules of the game for everyone, everywhere. Inflation is a silent heist, eroding your money's purchasing power every day. It's like a slow leak in your financial life raft, barely noticeable at first, but relentless over time. $1 today won't buy the same tomorrow. The cost of groceries, rent, and even your morning coffee creeps up, while your paycheck struggles to keep pace. Most never see the thief, only the consequences. Savings shrink, wages lag, futures dim. The dreams you once had seem just a little further out of reach. For many, it feels like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up, no matter how hard you work. We're told inflation is normal, even healthy. News reports and experts assure us it's a sign of a growing economy, a necessary part of progress. But who decides how much is healthy? Who sets the rules and who stands to gain the most from this invisible tax? Who benefits when your money is diluted? Is it the everyday worker, or those with the power to print and allocate new money? The story of inflation is about power, control, and the very nature of money. It's a story that stretches across continents and centuries, shaping societies and destinies. To understand it, we must look past headlines and charts, and see how governments and banks have used this invisible tool to shape our world. The decisions made in distant boardrooms ripple through every household. The real drivers? Human nature, the desire for more, the fear of scarcity, the quest for power. These motivations have always been at the heart of economic systems. So let's pull back the curtain and explore the hidden mechanisms that make our money worth less over time. Only by understanding the system can we hope to protect ourselves from its silent theft. Is inflation a necessary evil, or a system designed to benefit the few at the expense of the many? The answer may change how you see every dollar you spend. What is money? Not value itself, but a symbol. A technology to make trade easier. Before money, barter was inefficient. Money became a universal medium, a store of value. But here's where inflation begins. We think inflation is rising prices, but it's really our money losing value. The bread isn't more expensive. The dollar is weaker. This misunderstanding keeps us blaming the wrong people and missing the real cause. Central banks openly target inflation, deliberately making your money worth less over time. It's not a conspiracy, it's stated policy. The question is, why is this silent decay of our savings considered necessary? Who benefits from a system where your money is designed to lose value? The answer reveals the true nature of our financial world. Let's dig deeper. We're told inflation is caused by too much demand or rising costs. Demand pull and cost push inflation. But these are symptoms, not the disease. The real cause of sustained inflation, an increase in the money supply. Imagine an island, 10 people, 10 apples, $10. Double the dollars. Apples cost double. Central banks like the Federal Reserve create new money, often to fund government spending. This process, quantitative easing, is the main engine of modern inflation. Supply chain issues, or oil prices, can cause temporary spikes, but only expanding the money supply causes all prices to rise year after year. Blaming a single event for persistent inflation is like blaming a wave for the rising tide. The real force is the ever-expanding money supply. That's the tide lifting all prices. To see inflation's destructive power, look at 1920s Germany, the Weimar Republic. Crushed by war debts, the government printed money. At first it worked. Then, hyperinflation hit. Prices soared by the hour. People rushed to spend wages before they became worthless. Savings evaporated. The middle class was destroyed. Who benefited? The government, which paid debts with worthless money, and those who borrowed or held real assets. The social cost was immense. Chaos, extremism, and the collapse of trust in institutions. Inflation isn't just economic, it's social and political. It can tear societies apart and leave scars for generations. The Weimar story is a warning. Inflation can destroy more than money. It can destroy the very fabric of society. The lesson: inflation's consequences reach far beyond the wallet. Weimar isn't just history. The lessons of runaway money printing and collapsing currencies are not confined to the past. They echo into our present, shaping the world we live in today. Zimbabwe and Venezuela show hyperinflation is still possible. These modern crises remind us that no nation is immune to the dangers of reckless monetary policy, and the consequences can be devastating for ordinary people. But even moderate inflation is destructive over time. It quietly erodes the value of every dollar, making it harder for families to plan for the future or afford the same things year after year. Since 1913, the US dollar has lost over 96% of its value, a slow-motion heist. What once bought a basket of groceries now barely covers a few items, and the trend shows no sign of stopping. This punishes savers and rewards debtors. Those who try to build a nest egg see their efforts undermined, while those who borrow benefit as their debts shrink in real terms. Why save when your money loses value? The incentive to put money aside for the future fades, replaced by a sense of urgency to spend or invest before prices climb higher. People are forced to speculate, stocks, real estate, just to keep up. Instead of focusing on their passions or building businesses, many feel compelled to gamble in markets just to preserve their purchasing power. The financial industry profits from this churn, collecting fees as everyone is pushed into the casino. The constant movement of money creates opportunities for banks and brokers, but adds risk for everyone else. The Cantillon effect: new money benefits those closest to its creation, governments and big banks, before prices rise for everyone else. This hidden advantage shapes who wins and who loses in our economy. The further you are from the money printer, the more you lose. Inflation quietly widens inequality, making it harder for the average person to get ahead while the wealthy pull further away. The system is designed to benefit the few at the expense of the many. Those with access to financial tools and influence shape the rules, while the rest are left to adapt. The slow erosion of value changes how we live, save, and invest. The silent heist continues, shaping our choices and our futures in ways we rarely notice, until it's too late. How does the money machine work? Picture the economy as a pool of water, goods and services. Money is buckets used to claim water. Add more buckets, and each claims less. The government and central bank add buckets by creating new money. Those closest to the source, contractors, banks, get to spend first, before prices rise. As new money spreads, everyone else finds their bucket claims less. This is inflation, a transfer of wealth to those who get the new money first. Complex terms like quantitative easing disguise this simple process. Central banks create money with a few keystrokes, fueling spending and price increases. It's not a natural process, it's a top-down intervention by a small group of officials. Printing money is easier than raising taxes, but the cost is paid by everyone else. The Cantillon effect explains who wins and loses. New money ripples out from its source. Government, big corporations, finance, who spend it before prices rise. As it spreads, prices climb. By the time it reaches retirees or low-wage workers, their incomes haven't kept up. Their purchasing power is stolen. They pay the price without benefiting. Inflation acts as a regressive tax, hurting the poor and middle class most. It distorts the economy, creating artificial booms and bubbles. Easy money misleads businesses and investors, fueling unsustainable projects. When the bubble bursts, the pain is widespread. Bankruptcies, unemployment. The boom and bust cycle is often the result of money manipulation, not natural market forces. Inflation's ripples reshape the entire economy. Who wins? The biggest debtors, governments, who repay debts with devalued money. Inflation is a stealth tax, transferring wealth to the state. Next are big banks and financial firms, who get new money first and use it to buy assets before prices rise. Their wealth grows, not from innovation, but from proximity to the money printer. The losers, savers, pensioners, and the prudent, those who play by the rules. Their savings melt away, their retirements threatened. The working poor and middle class see wages lag behind costs, running faster just to stay in place. The yardstick, money, is being shortened, making life less affordable. Inflation funds the government and enriches the financial elite. Nori Bay Day the game is rigged, most don't even know they're playing. We've seen that inflation isn't some force of nature. It's a man-made system, carefully designed and maintained, that quietly destroys savings and shifts wealth from ordinary people to those who understand how to play the game. It's not just an economic phenomenon, but a reflection of choices made by policymakers, bankers, and even ourselves. For those in power, inflation works exactly as intended. It enables governments to spend beyond their means without the pain of direct taxation, fuels financial markets, and enriches the well-connected. The winners are often those closest to the source of new money, while the rest of society pays the price. So, is inflation a necessary tool for economic growth, a hidden trap that ensnares the unwary? Or is it something even more complex, an unavoidable consequence of the way our society is structured? Maybe inflation is a mirror, reflecting our collective choices, demanding more from government than we're truly willing to pay for and expecting benefits without considering the long-term costs. Printing money becomes the political answer to impossible promises, a shortcut that postpones hard decisions and makes it easy to offer more than can ever be delivered. But there's no magic in this process, only accounting tricks and shifting numbers. Sooner or later, the reality catches up. The bill always comes due, showing up as higher prices at the store, a weaker currency abroad, and a society that feels more fragile and uncertain with each passing year. Inflation is ultimately about ethics and fairness. Should we punish savers, reward debtors, and allow a small group to control the value of everyone's money? Or is there a better way? These are the defining questions of our time, shaping debates in politics, economics, and even our daily lives. The answer to how we handle inflation will shape the world we leave behind for future generations, influencing opportunity, stability, and trust in our institutions. So, is inflation a tool, a trap, or simply the price we pay for ignoring uncomfortable truths? The choice, and its consequences, are ours to face.